10 Blackstars are the most powerful weapons in BDO in terms of PvE, and they're very coveted and sought after. However, they are pretty damn expensive to buy, and enhancing them isn't that easy. They take a lot of cron stones for each attempt, you need a high stack, and it could potentially go for many dozens of attempts and failures before you get it. So, to alleviate the burden of having to go for the Pen Blackstar as soon as you can, PA implemented a system called the Godr-Ayed weapons, which are the intermediary point between Tet Blackstar and Pen Blackstar. But when you look at the Godr-Ayed system and going from base to pen, it's actually pretty damn expensive on paper as well as in reality, because not only do you have less enhancement chance going from Tet Godr-Ayed to Pen Godr-Ayed compared to a Tet Blackstar to a Pen Blackstar, but you also have to consume very valuable stacks and a lot of cron stones along the way. Now, the cron stones might add up to a similar amount as the Tet Blackstar to a Pen Blackstar, but overall, on paper, it is more expensive to enhance. However, there are certain situations where the Godr-Ayed is actually quite useful. Some people might call it a meme, but in this video, I'm going to go ahead and explain in which situations would you want to consider having a Godr-Ayed, and which situations would you want to enhance a Tet Godr-Ayed to a Pen Godr-Ayed instead of enhancing a Tet Blackstar to a Pen Blackstar. Now, if you were in my stream last week, or a little over a week ago, you might have seen that I did manage to tap my Tet Godr-Ayed to a Pen. Now, the reason why I went with a Tet Godr-Ayed was because it made sense to me in terms of the time frame it takes me to gather all the cron stones to enhance a Tet Godr-Ayed to Pen Godr-Ayed versus a Tet Blackstar to a Pen Blackstar. So when you're enhancing a Tet Blackstar, it costs 3,670 cron stones per attempt, whereas for a Tet Godr-Ayed to a Pen Godr-Ayed, it takes 1820. Now that's a little less than half the amount, but of course you have to get it to a Tet first. Me personally, I bought my Tet Godr-Ayed at mid price around 56 bill. Honestly, I should have bought it at min price at 52. About a week after I got mine, I saw people posting those for min as well, so unfortunately I missed out on 4 bill there. But when you compare the enhancing of a Tet Godr-Ayed to a Tet Blackstar, when you do enhance and get luck, whether you get lucky or you go at the average number of taps, the Tet variant is going to be consumed. So in the case of a Tet Blackstar, you will successfully enhance it to a Pen Blackstar, and it will cost you the 15 something bill of the Tet Blackstar to get started with the whole tapping process, and plus all of the mats to enhance and cron stones, etc. But when you compare it to a Tet Godr-Ayed, you're in a lot deeper. It costs over 52 to 56 bill, or how much ever you pay for it, in order to just get the weapon in the first place in order to enhance. So if you were to one tap a Tet Blackstar versus a Tet Godr-Ayed, you'd only be down the hole by 15 bill for a Tet Blackstar, where you'd be down the hole by over 50 bill for a Tet Godr-Ayed. Now, the advantage of having a Tet Godr-Ayed is it's a good intermediary weapon. It has a lot of AP on it. It's only about 3 off from a Pen Godr-Ayed, so it's a really solid weapon to keep you going in the meantime. Whereas for a Blackstar, a lot of us are going to have a Blackstar plus another weapon as an intermediary weapon that we use in between. Whether it's a Kafra Dandy or a Duo or a Tri-Godr-Ayed, you would want to have something else because a Tet Blackstar is pretty weak. So my issue with enhancing a Tet Blackstar really came with the amount of cron stones it cost. Because when you have over 3,670 cron stones being consumed per attempt, it's pretty pricey because a premium costume only gives us 991. So essentially you need over 3.6 costumes for each attempt. Now here on NA, people meme that it's raining costumes and it's super easy to get, yada yada yada. Definitely better than the other regions, except for Korea. But it still takes a long time. On average, I was getting 1 costume a day. If I was lucky, I'd get 2 or more. But there were days that I was unlucky and I got 0. So on average, I was getting a costume a day. When you compare the amount of costumes you need to enhance a Tet Godr-Ayed, you only need 1.8 something costumes because of the less number of cron stones required. Even though I'm in 50 something bill deeper, I was able to consume less cron stones in each attempt, which allowed me to do more attempts overall because I am time gated by pre-ordering costumes. And if I had to wait to gather all the cron stones to have an average number of attempts for a Tet Blackstar, it would have taken me a lot longer. And I would have been waiting for months. Whereas for a Godr-Ayed, I was able to gather all the costumes and all the cron stones a lot quicker for the same number of taps. So for me, it made sense. One, I was able to use an intermediary Tet Godr-Ayed, which was a really good weapon, and play my awakening classes just fine. And two, I was able to gather the cron stones quicker. Now, if you had to go from base Godr-Ayed to pen, obviously you wouldn't want to do that. I personally would recommend buying a duo or a tri as an intermediary and then tapping a Tet Blackstar if you can. Now, if you don't want to tap a Tet Blackstar to pen, you should buy a Tet Godr-Ayed and, over time, tap that to pen. So when you're trying to compare between a Blackstar and a Godr-Ayed, it really comes down to your individual situation. Me personally, I didn't want to be time gated further because I'm already grinding my ass off to get the silver to buy the costumes. Then I have to be time gated for those costumes to come in. So for me, having that Tet Godr-Ayed really made sense, but that might not be the same case for you. If you're able to save up 130 bill, 150 bill to just buy a pen Blackstar, that might be the wiser choice because, I got lucky. I got boosted, streamer RNG, whatever. But if I was to fail, then I would have been very sad. Luckily, a Tet Godr-Ayed is a really good intermediary weapon, so even if I did fail, I'd only be missing 3 sheet AP. But it comes down to you and your personal preference. Do you want to go the most efficient route? You're probably better off buying. But if you had to enhance, then enhancing a Tet Blackstar to pen is more worth than enhancing a base Godr-Ayed to pen. However, if you are able to buy a min price Tet Godr-Ayed, and credits to Choice, he gave me the idea on his stream when I was watching, so credit to him, super knowledgeable guy. But if you were to buy a Tet Godr-Ayed for really cheap, like min price, then that is a viable option. Now you got to remember the enhancement rate is less for enhancing a Tet Godr-Ayed to pen versus a Tet Blackstar to pen, but it's only a minute difference. For me, I used a 244 stack, so it's about 3.8 something % for the Tet Godr-Ayed to pen, and that would have equated to a 5% something with a Blackstar. I believe so. So, I just wanted to shed some light on my choice here. I mean, people do meme on the Godr-Ayed, but it does have a viable place in the game. It is a good intermediary weapon. Even if you're not buying straight up a Tet Godr-Ayed, it's still a good option to have a duo or a tri Godr-Ayed instead of a Tet Blackstar. So anyway, I hope I was able to shed some more light onto my choice of going the Godr-Ayed route and maybe help you guys decide on what path you want to go. There are the pros and cons to this. I mean, for me, the cron stones are the biggest annoyance in this game. I really don't like that method and that being a thing in terms of how we progress, because it's very much reliant on the cash shop. You could buy the vendor crons for 3 mil each, but that's a bust. You might as well save up and just buy the damn weapon straight up. So, when it comes to costumes, I really don't like pre-ordering those. It's really annoying. It's really stressful just thinking about that, constantly looking at the marketplace and looking at garmot.com, trying to put pre-orders up and hoping I get it. And it's much worse for other regions. I definitely understand that. So, especially for you guys in EU, this might be a viable option to go to Tet Godr-Ayed route, because crown stones are hard to come by. And when you need tens of thousands, it might be worth it. Anyway, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about going Godr-Ayed versus Blackstar and what you guys did when you were in my position and needing to upgrade your weapons. But yeah, check me out at twitch.tv/I'mPansy. The streams are back. The content is back after my 1 week hiatus. And yeah, I think this is a good way to kick it off. I'll catch you guys soon. Peace.